Hey, happy Monday, everybody. Here I am again going over our activity one, our kind of introduction and review from last week and just overall review of everything. So the first three questions for today are dealing with those angles that we talked about last week: acute, right, obtuse, and straight. These are going to be words that you're going to be seeing and hearing more this week as we identify shapes, specifically triangles that have certain angles within them, whether they be acute, right, or obtuse. Okay, so just kind of a reminder of what that looked like from last week. Here we have an angle. Now, if you see how I drag this over, we are changing the degrees or how wide that is open. So everything right now, this is all acute because it is under 90 degrees. So this is acute, 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 continues to be acute, still acute, still acute, still acute, still acute. Even right here, that is still acute because as soon as it goes to 90, that is a right angle. Okay, right there is a right angle. And then as soon as it goes beyond a right angle, that is obtuse, even if it's 91 degrees, right? So obtuse, 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 all the way like this. And as soon as you hit this right here, a 180 degrees, that is a straight angle. And if you know anything about like bike tricks or skateboard tricks, if you do a 180, you are facing one direction and then you turn to face the other direction. That is a 180. We call it that because you're doing a 180 degree. And if you go all the way around, you do a 360, right? Okay, so take a look at that first one right there. This one here, if you take a look at that angle, now if this is on a sheet of paper, I would tell you to move it, but you can kind of turn your head here, and I'm going to replicate this as best as I can. Let me move this to where I want it to be. Good. So it looks like it's about this, right? So if you were looking at that, and if you said that was acute, you are correct. Okay, that is an acute angle. Now, if I bring over my protractor here, that's about 51 degrees. Now, that protractor is this really neat tool that goes from 0 all the way to 180. And we line up that bottom line there, and then we just kind of see how much of that is open with that right there. Cool. All right, so let's take a look at the next one right here. Similar angle, it kind of turned a little different way. You know, if this is on a sheet of paper, it'd be easier to kind of turn it and look at it from different angles. But looking at this one, it looks like it's a little bit more open than a nice, perfectly piece of paper. You know, like I'm using a scrap piece of paper. I was, telling my children at home that if you look at the corner of a paper, that makes a perfect 90-degree angle. So if you were taking a look at this one and you said it was obtuse, that is correct. Okay, that's open a little bit wider than 90 degrees. And then this one last here, this last angle, this one is so small and barely open. It kind of looks like that. 7 degrees, that is definitely acute. That is a very small acute angle right there. All right, good deal. Okay, so let's take a look at our word problems that we have right here. So this first one here, kind of taking a look at this. Kate is drawing on scrap paper. Okay, she can fit 3 drawings on each page. Okay, so that's important. So when we're taking a look at that, we can think, okay, so if we have 1 page, she can put 3 drawings on there. All right, going on the next part, she has 8 pieces of paper. All right, so for some of you, you may see this as the multiplication, but if you need to draw it out, if you're a visual person, use that strategy. That's a good strategy there. So she has 8 sheets of paper. And then going back to what it said is that she has 3 drawings on each. Okay. Very different strategies to go for this. You could see that as the straightforward. We have 3 8 times. Okay. And we could say, all right, well, if this is 6 and this is another 6, that's 12. And this is another set of 12. 3, 6, 9, 12. That is going to be 24. Okay. So that's our look on that one, right? So how many drawings can she put on here? she can put 24 drawings. And we want to make sure we put a label to that by saying drawings, right? Hopefully your D looks a little bit better than my crazy looking D there. All right. Okay, so let's take a look at this last one here. A school has ordered 234 new pencils for the state tests, which we didn't have to do this year. Haha. And 6 pencils for each kid. How many kids are in that school, right? So this is a division problem. So we're going to take 234 and we are going to divide that by 6. Okay. Now we could say, all right, well, we could do that whole deal where we draw 6 circles and we share out 234, but honestly, that would be terrible. So we need to think about our multiplication and just reviewing our, our division and what we did. We can say, all right, so we could do 6 times, a couple different ways we could do this, but quickest way, we could say, well, all right, well, if we did 6 times 30, all right, what would that equal? Well, 6 times 30 is 180. Okay, I'm going to do that subtraction. That's going to be 4. I need to do some borrowing here. It's going to be my 13. And that leaves me with 54. There are now 54 pencils left over. Okay, then we can think 6 times 9 is 54. I'll make sure I put my labels here. And that means we can subtract that. We've shared that out. There are no pencils left over. So what does that mean? Right here, we handed out 30 pencils for every kid. And then we handed out 9. So then how many our kids are in that school? That's going to give us a total of 39. All right. And then we can work out our multiplication. And we can say, well, if we do 30 times 6, that's 180. And if we did 9 times 6, we're just checking our work right now, that's 54. So if I do 180, bringing it over here, and if I add my 54 to that, if everything works out just right, we should get 234. So we have our 4, 5 and 8, 13. Carry that over, 234 pencils. That's it. There's only 39 kids in that school. That is like the world's smallest school, but it's possible. All right, guys, I hope you have a great day. Activity 2 is a lesson that I'm going to be recording on identifying quadrilaterals based off if they have parallel sides or not. And then there's going to be an activity 3 for you guys to turn in, just a short exit slip type deal. And then that's it. All right, have a great day, guys.